Hi, everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Backcast, where I, Adam Upper, talk with my buddy Braydon Kelly about Batman, the animated series. And this week is Perchance to Dream, another I was going to say, I keep on wanting to call him Scarecrow, but it's a Mad Hatter episode. How are you today, sir?
I wish I was dreaming. I'm running on fumes as it is. How about you?
Yeah, so I'm all right, I suppose. I actually had today off, yeah, so it's usually me coming off with like a day shift doing the recording sometimes, but this time it is you, and yeah, I do not envy that. Yeah, I hate day shifts so fucking much. Wake up in the morning is the worst. But perchance we can dream about a world that we don't have to work. Like
Nice, nicely done.
but yes, as I said, this week's episode is Perchance to Dream. It was the 30th episode to be produced, and it was the 26th episode to air, which means that I aired October 19th, 1992. So we're getting pretty close to Halloween there. And that teleplay was by Joe R. Lansdale, and the story is by Laren Bright and Michael Reeves, and it's directed by Boyd Kirkland. And I was seeing on I guess on the commentary for Batman Gotham Knight that Kevin Conroy was saying this is like one of his favorite episodes to do,
Hmm.
or just that he has done, I guess. So yeah,
Yeah, and you can
so
certainly see why, because it's a very big staple in the Batman fandom. It's got a bit of a vibe to the Superman story that ironically Batman was in, for the man who has everything, where we get to see Bruce live an alternate life.
So like the whole thing is where yeah, his parents didn't die, and he's yeah, actually it looks like he's going to marry Catwoman and all that stuff. Yeah, so but yeah, the episode starts with a car chase with Batman and just two like random guys, and you just see like the car do a little fucking burn around a corner in the back alley, and I was thinking like there's no way the Batmobile is able to take the corner like that. I don't think because like we've all seen like Batman and Batman Returns probably, and some of us unfortunately have seen the movie The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, so we all know that a car with that huge of a fucking front end, it does not handle well. But I think that with the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen car, it probably somewhat had to do with like the dual like front axles, but still just like that huge of a fucking uh, wheelbase isn't taking a corner level, even if it's Batman has like trained with like the best like stock car and like F1 racers. There's no way he's fucking handling that car that well.
Yeah, especially with the length that size of the
Yeah,
Batmobile.
yeah, yeah.
Be like me
But
trying to
yeah,
whip around with a station wagon.
but yeah, so that nice little chase down like the back alleys and stuff, and then they get to some like random, with I guess what seems to be like a random like factory or just warehouse or whatever, and then I guess he gets like blinded by a couple lights, and then then something lands on him, and
I love this part because like he
like
goes, "What the?" and it lands on his head.
yeah, like how are two like random guys able to get like the drop on Batman like that easily, like so it's something that like the Joker, like I guess Mad Hatter even has tried before, fucking Scarecrow, like everybody just fucking, but to just two random dudes like we're able to fucking draw on this like shitty like let's blind them trap. I guess later on we find out it's like a Mad Hatter trap, but like I said, like I guess that's my main question is how they get the drop on him this badly or this
Yeah,
easily.
yeah. It's like this upside down egg basket looking thing that just like falls on his head, and he's got the hilarious reaction of like,
It's like what the
it's like,
shit is that? Yeah, and then he wakes up and like he's like in his huge fucking like is it like a triple king bed or whatever the fuck, like that huge ass bed that he has. Like
mhm.
even for me for how tall I am, that's a huge ass fuck. That's like a that's like a Shaquille O'Neal bed that he has.
Through that.
Yeah, then Alfred's coming in, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're awake, Bruce. He's like, oh yeah, I'm surprised to be awake after finding that whatever the fuck that was that dropped in my head. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, yeah, I fell into that trap so fucking easily that I was just, dude, I didn't remember that his response to that initially when I was talking about that trap. But yeah, even he says he's like, yeah, I fell in for that traps like stupid easy. Like, what the hell is that? And Alfred's like, what the hell are you talking about, man? And like Batman's like kind of like Bruce, I guess, at this point. But I guess he's still Batman. Like he's kind of a dick. He's like, I said, I know that's when he goes to try and open the Batcave. He's like, hey, you know what the Batcave where the bunch of bad stuff is? He's like, what the fuck, man? Like they don't have to be a dick about not knowing the Batcave is. But yeah, but even I guess at this point he's just like he's still like wondering because he's getting up. He's like, how did I get back home? Like, did Robin come and like save me or whatever? And like, did I get knocked out and whatnot? And he's like, Alfred's like, what the fuck are you talking about, Bruce? Like, none of this stuff it seems to make some sense. Here, have some coffee. And hopefully wake up and make more sense. He's like,
Well, when he
okay, I
says about
guess.
Robin, he's like, "Is that a girl that you're dating?"
Oh
And
yeah,
oh, I know you're dating Selina Kyle, and
oh yeah, I
he's like,
guess yeah. He
"Sorry, it's
was.
none of my business." But I'm thinking, like, okay, I recently got into Bridgerton, so I'm starting to think Alfred's like the whistle down of Gotham's high society. Like he's like the town gossip, like knowing all the stuff. Like, Miss Kyle, shall I spill the tea? Dearest reader, Bruce Wayne's a hoe. That is all.
But yeah, so then they go downstairs, and then after that is when he goes and try and go into the Batcave, like goes to the clock, like the grandfather clock, is that like right away after he talks to Alfred initially, and then he's like, "What the hell?" And then Alfred's like, "What's going on there again?" Or is that something else, or is there something in between those two?
Hole in the ground. It's got a big black car in it. It's got bats and like, guano all over the place. Like, how have you never heard of this thing?
Yeah,
And
we just
Alfred's just kind of looking like, okay, my boss has gone cuckoo.
yeah, we just kind of lost you there for a second, but yeah, so yeah, he's checking the clock and he's like, "What the fuck's going on?" And then yeah, Alfred's like, "No," and then yeah, that's why I said that's where Bruce is like being a dick, yeah, like kind of being a dick, and he's that's where we hear Thomas Wayne, which is kind of which I was like, is this like Dr. DC's dad like voicing Bruce Wayne or Thomas Wayne? But yeah, but I guess it's just yeah, just Kevin Conroy doing another voice. Yeah, he's just like this big booming voice, and even coming from me, that's a big deep voice. He's like, "Hey, what's all commotion? What's going on?" And you see, and then his dad, mom, and daughter like alive and stuff. So that just like adds further to the mystery of like what the fuck's going on. And then what happens after that? Like, cause
Well, one thing I was going to make note of is, and it's only briefly noticed because she only has two lines. Martha Wayne is voiced by the same actress who does Catwoman, Adrienne
oh
Barbeau.
Adrian Barbeau,
Yeah. And
yeah,
she
so
only
going.
has two lines in the entire episode. Bruce and psst. And that's the thing, like I've always noticed. It's like Batman's parents, they only mostly focus on his dad, I guess, because like it's that father-son relationship and the absence of it. But Bruce's mom gets brushed to the side very quickly. She's just kind of there as by association half the time.
Oh yeah, because we all know we're supposed to keep that name out of our motherfucking mouth, right? So
All right.
why did you say that name?
There's a like shot of like Ben Affleck and Diane. Is it Lane or Keaton? No, it's Lane. Yeah, because
Like Diane Lane, yeah.
yeah, in like a movie where like they were a couple, and there's like a meme of like Henry Cavill looking like you can't shoot Batman. I'm Bruce Wayne. Probably slept with everybody's mom.
Bruce's mom has definitely got it going on. So after that initial like shock that he sees his parents again, like he goes to Al, that's where he goes to Alfred, and he's like, "Hey, just to hear me tell me about my life, but like, what the fuck's going on?" And that's where he just says like, you know, like like your dad retired and then you took over as running Wayne Enterprises and whatnot, and then unless something's changed, you proposed to Selina Kyle last week and you're marrying her next week, which I think is a really, even for rich people, that's a really fast turnaround for like a wedding. I think unless he had everything planned beforehand, it was just like basically like a formality sort of thing. But yeah, yeah, that's a really fast turnaround. So I
That's what
guess
I
if you
thought
want it,
too.
but yeah, I guess if you do dream, you want it done right away, sort of thing. I guess so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that was the funny thing is because as Bruce is kind of getting the recap, it's when he hears that he's being forced to commit to Selena Kyle. That's when he shouts, "No, it's all wrong. It's all wrong." It's like you're it's this hilarity of because like all of this is like kind of Bruce's subconscious desire come to life. That's hilarious because like you realize he wants her, but he knows he can't have her, and that's part of the reason why he wants her. So the moment that he's got a reality, he's like, I can't stand this. This is too real. Too good
Yeah,
to be
he's like,
true.
yeah,
Who could
yeah,
love me, the handsome billionaire?
and then that's why I think that's when he says like, "Hey, it feels like I'm living like someone else's life. Doesn't feel like this is me, sort of thing." And then she's like, "What are you talking about, Bruce? Do you not want this?" Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's
yeah, and that's and then I think that's where they see like Batman like swinging across like outside or whatever. I think right.
yeah, which took
Yeah,
me
'cause,
by surprise.
yeah, that was like
Because
that
like
thing. It
you're
was
obviously expecting this to be like, an alternate reality episode, but the very fact that Batman is still here, okay, now you've hooked the audience. Like this is an extra layer to the mystery.
yeah, so I guess that which begs the question. Like like I guess they know even with like there's like the whole backstory. Like Bruce like went away and did all the training and stuff. Like if he didn't come back and become like Batman, do you think someone else would have? I guess there are like other like heroes in Gotham that are like aren't necessarily connected to Batman. But does like Batman start off like the superhero movement in Gotham, or do you think someone else like eventually becomes like Batman, like this is what Gotham needs is at least a Batman eventually, or do you think it's just Bruce Wayne, just specifically Bruce Wayne, that's the Batman?
I think it's a little bit of yes and a little bit of no. It really depends on the continuity because I know when I read Batman Hush, there's a flashback of him going downtown Gotham and he sees Alan Scott, like the first Green Lantern, fighting a supervillain. So, like that was before his parents were even killed, and so there's a lot of dynamics to kind of show that like the idea of superheroes isn't new to Gotham. It's just they're not used to like these dark vigilantes like the Batman family.
Is Alan Scott like based in Gotham, or he just happened to be there?
I think he's based in Gotham. I think he owns like a Gotham radio telebroadcasting company or something.
Oh, oh nice. Nice.
Yeah. These days
But
he'd just be a podcaster like us.
yeah,
Listen to it.
so yeah, probably yeah. So yeah. So like they see like Batman, and he's like, what the fuck, and like runs like down the hallway and like jumps in the elevator, and like does he like go like up or down like the elevator, like, or what happens that he like tries to chase him down or something, right?
Well, he goes down, and that's when you see, well, I'll refer to him as fake Batman, taking on the jewel thieves. And it's kind of cool because when you take a second to realize Bruce has never had the opportunity to see what a badass he is as Batman. It's kind of like if we're going to go by like video game logic, we've gone from first person shooter to third person video game character.
Yeah,
And he's getting the opportunity to see it because like Selena's smitten with him. She's like, "Oh, isn't he amazing?" And Bruce is kind of like, "Yeah, he is." Like, Bruce, that's you. I mean, like I know it's not you, but it's still you. Like it's kind
yeah.
of this moment where Bruce kind of falls in love with himself. And this fake Batman is kind of funny. Like the animators clearly like working with this guy's like there's a different fighting style that's very subtle, but if you catch it, he uses his legs a lot. Like there's a shot of him like squeezing this like thug with his thighs, like lifting him up and slamming across the like brick wall. It's really funny because like this is not something that Batman's used to doing. But the animators, I guess, were like, well, let's try something a little different here.
Yeah, then I think after that fight, he asks Selina if the name Catwoman means anything to her, and she has no idea. And I said like the earlier episode where like if this wasn't like a child's like cartoon, where like yeah, where somebody would just told Bruce they needs to get laid. I wouldn't be surprised that like if there's like an adult cartoon like they would have adopted like the Catwoman persona, but like in the bedroom and that was it, sort of thing. And she had like little like BDSM like Catwoman thing, get up for like Thursday nights or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I just thought
But
like
yeah,
Bruce asking her like, Selena, how do you feel about whips and leather? And imagine if she's into it, Bruce is gonna panic even more. He's like, I can't, I want this, but I can't.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, but as this is like a child's cartoon, yeah, like they're like she was like, yeah, Catwoman means nothing to me or whatever. So,
Yeah.
and then it cuts to Batman talking to Leslie Tompkins, being like, "Hey, I'm basically like, hey, if this is, feel like I'm living my life, sort of thing, I should be Batman, blah blah blah, or whatever." And then and she was like, "Hey, you've just been living your life as like a building a playboy, so like everything they given to you, so you just been like kind of manifesting the Batman just for to give yourself something
Hmm.
to be proud of. So you just you know do stuff." You'll you'll be okay and stop thinking about Batman.
Yeah, it was actually like a very well written scene considering like we're already dealing with a lot of like psychological stuff here, but the fact that she's saying like you disassociate and like she breaks it down into like pretty, basic terms here that he's wanting to live the life of Batman because to him, he's more or less having a like in the reality of in the context of this fantasy, he's basically having a midlife crisis. He's realizing like I'm about to get married and this is the kind of life I want. I feel like my life hasn't had much purpose. And so in his mind he thinks like something like Batman would be going into a life that would be the kind of destiny he wants for himself versus, a luxurious office job where life has literally been handed to him on a silver platter. And it's kind of fascinating when like not only Bruce rolls with this, but when you look at like how smart that take is.
And he was like all relieved. He's like, yeah, finally the nightmare is over, sort of thing. So I can actually be my life, spend my life how I wanted to instead of just like focusing on like be Batman sort of thing, whatever. So he goes back home and then talks to his dad, and he's like, "Hey, everything's good, everything's cool," and then says makes a joke to Alfred about did he find the Batcave yet or whatever, like ha ha ha, like and then like hey, hopefully everything's okay.
Yeah.
Then goes to read like then goes to read the newspaper or something like that, and like all the words are garbled up, and I'm like fairly certain this is like an actual like real thing instead of just being part of like the episode or whatever. So like that you can't read in a dream. So
Yeah,
so it's
I've heard
actually
that
like
theory too.
yeah. So yeah, I should have looked this up, but I'm fairly certain that actually fairly certain at least I should say that is an actual thing instead of just made up bullshit for the episode. So then then like where they in the Wayne Manor was like in the library. It looks like yeah. So he goes and grabs a bunch of other books, and they're all garbled up and stew, and he garbled and whatnot. So he starts like freaking out, like everything's not real and whatnot. So
So
then
hypothetical situation here. Yes, Bruce has realized he can't read in this world, but his parents are alive. So now he has a choice. He can decide, you know what? This is worth keeping my parents around. I wanted this my entire life. So for the rest of my life, Alfred, you're going to have to read to me everything that I have, from newspapers to books to like stock information, like business papers, like everything. Like he's singing them like, fine, Master Bruce, good night, moon, good night, spoon.
The Batman jumps over the moon. Would you just say, Alfred? The cow jumps over the moon. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Then then his parents come in and then start trying to calm him down, saying, "Figure out what's trying to figure out what the issue is." And then they hears like Batman over the TV, and he says like, it's his fault and it's all due to him, sort of thing. So he starts freaking out, being like, "Batman."
He embraces his inner Jack Nicholson and smashes the TV.
Yeah.
But I thought that was kind
And,
of interesting too, because you have this moment of like Bruce actually hating Batman for a second. Because like he's obviously still consciously aware that he's Batman and like
yeah,
the life he's known, but
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, no, now you are the thing that's ruining it. You are the like kind of Jungian symbol that I have to point a finger at and say like you're trying to bring me back to reality.
So like, I think after that is like where he goes to like the hardware store to buy some like rope and a grappling hook and some flares. And then as he's leaving, some police pull up and be like, "Hey, this is like a no parking thing," which I don't think like cops would like be like, unless they already knew that it was Bruce and they were going to talk to him. I don't think the police would care this much about a no parking zone, if especially if he's like looks like he's just about to get back into his car. But I
Yeah.
guess for the if I guess for the episode, they got to do it or whatever.
Well, obviously, this episode precedes Inception, but it's kind of got a little bit of those kind of same kind of world rules. And I would think that these are kind of like how they describe in that movie, like white blood cells attacking a virus. And so they're
Yeah,
trying to keep him inside of the dream. But I love this part because you have Bruce pulling a call an ambulance, but not for me. When they say like you need to come with us, he's like, fine, but not right now.
yeah. If he jumps over the car and like runs away, and then where was that arch thing that he walks by? Because like I like the fact that even like the writing on that like above the arch was like still like garbled and stuff there, so they actually
Oh, I didn't
like
catch that.
that. Yeah, so so that part of the continuity in the episode was actually correct. So instead of just saying like, hey, this is like blah 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 park or what the fuck they were, it was actually garbled. Because noticed later on when where he gets to where he gets to like the bell tower and throws the hook up, you see it hook onto a gargoyle. Then when he gets to the top of the tower, he climbs over. It's just over the top of the railing or whatever.
Interesting.
So
Yeah,
they had the forethought. So they had the forethought to correct that continuity, but not the basic hook continuity when he gets to
yeah,
the top of the climb.
yeah. The editor was probably keeping more an eye out for the letters and making sure that they were all jumbled up.
Or is the animators are like, ah, fuck it, we don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, so Bruce goes to like you said, he goes to the this like cemetery church, climbs up to the bell tower, and basically shouts to this guy. At first, I'm like, "Are you shouting at God?" But he's like, "Here I am, come find me!" But no, it's Batman swinging out of the
Yeah,
sky,
yeah, yeah.
and
I like how he's like basically as soon as he gets to the top, he's like, Batman, I've been waiting here for you. Like, no, you literally just got there.
it,
You haven't been waiting for nothing. You didn't wait for like 5 seconds to be like, hey, where the fuck is he? It's like he gets up. I've been waiting for you. Like, no, you haven't. We
yeah,
literally saw you get there.
but yeah, this image, man, of Bruce versus Batman, like we could talk about like an entire episode just breaking down the symbolism and metaphorical messaging of that.
Yeah, he's
But
finding himself. Yeah,
yeah, it was so cool. Like you see like this like clashing of identities come together. But what I found hilarious, because remember, this is all Bruce's subconscious
yeah,
basically becoming a stage performance. So fake Batman, as in more or less his subconscious Batman says, Mr. Wayne, you need professional help, which means even Bruce knows he's crazy.
yeah. And then too, like, and then he obviously knows all of Batman's moves because it's all both himself. So like that fight would be like a stalemate forever too. That was my main takeaway from that thing. Like the thing, and then
One
the
of the
second
shots he tries to knee Batman in the crotch. I'm like, you've successfully and failed tried to kick yourself in the balls.
yeah, and then after I thought that, I saw this new thing, it made me think of the Venom episode from the Spider-Man animated series where they had to chase him to the bell tower to eventually like knock
Oh, where he
the
goes
symbiote off
crazy.
of Eddie
Shocker.
Brock. Or it's like the it was like the or like no, I think it was just Venom where he's like because yeah like they have to use the sound waves to get him off Eddie Brock.
Oh
So
no, but Shocker was in that too. Because I
oh was
remember
he
he went like ape shit on him.
is that oh yeah is that the same episode yeah where it's like the the overacting episode yeah or
Oh,
part
dude, he was like
yeah yeah
going after like a B-list villain and ready to like. You know how scared he was of Shocker? Little digression here. Shocker ran through a door. He was that afraid for his own life. He literally ran through a wooden door.
and he didn't say oh yeah afterwards.
Yeah. But I love this part because yeah, it's kind of going back to the Inception thing.
Yeah,
It's like the scene of Dominic Cobb, like, confronting the manifestation of his guilt with his wife. But like here, it's Bruce wrestling to take hold of his identity back. And he finally manages to get the upper hand and manages to
and
take the mask off.
yeah, demask Batman, and it turns out to be that the Mad Hatter and stuff. So but it's not the real Mad Hatter, as we find out. Yeah, because he's like, "Hey, Mad Hatter, what the fuck?" And he's like, "So you know who I am?" And he's like, "Well, I do technically because I'm part of your dream, but obviously it's because the hat that I made just doesn't give out any information. It just makes who's wearing that hat have like
Okay.
the dream of whatever they want sort of thing or whatever. Yeah, go
All
ahead.
right. So he says that, but think of it for a second. When you really put the situation and give it some room of thought, he has Batman under the stasis of this like I'm
Yeah,
just gonna call it a brain scrambler or whatever it is, this mind probe thing. So if he wanted to take a look at Batman's mask underneath, he would have to take the thing off. So now he's in a catch 22. It's like you can't have both. You have to either keep him
or like
there
yeah
and
yeah
never see his identity,
oh yeah
or
or he could I was going to get to that yeah but like or he was knocked like he's presumably knocked out from whatever dropped on his head to put the device on right so why don't you just demask him then when he's knocked out and be like, hey, it's Bruce Wayne and put the thing on because he doesn't need a because if anything, if he has a mask on when he's up like on knocked out, that's gonna give his subconscious more that I'm Batman thing or whatever. It's gonna use or connect to it connect to it even more. Need to fucking enunciate my words, but yeah. So that was my thing. Like once you like demask him and realizes Mad Hatter, then he eventually wakes up, and then Mad Hatter's like, "Oh my God, how would you do that?" Even the most strong-willed people uh, would only be able to do that. So it made me think like so maybe him and like Hal Jordan or whoever has like a Green Lantern would be able to do it. Which made me think. I wonder if Mad Hatter ever went up against the Green Lantern at all, or any of the Green Lanterns.
that's a
But
good,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. I could
But
see
yeah.
I
So
could
like
see him having it.
Yeah. But yeah, then once I saw that he took the thing off his head and stuff, like why didn't he demask him at some point in that whole thing to be like, hey, which made me think too, like there's that one scene that always pops up. It's like the short little clip where it's like the Joker and I think it's Scarecrow. They have Batman tied up and he's like, and as the scene starts off, it's like, all right, fine, we got him here. Might as well demask him. And he took off, and they're like, oh, it's billionaire Bruce Wayne. What the fuck? And then Joker starts freaking out. And he's like, wait a minute, you're Bruce Wayne. He's like, where's my goddamn electric car, Bruce? I put down payment and everything. We're supposed to be out by the spring or whatever. And just like, yeah, just the way he says, like, where's my goddamn electric car, Bruce? It always fucking makes me laugh. Like,
But dude, I love that scene. And then like Scarecrow gets killed because like Joker's pissed off. It's like you ruined the game.
like, yeah, that's the whole thing. We just like obviously I could have figured it out before, or I already kind of knew that it was Bruce Wayne, but I was just ignoring it. And I thought that's part of the game, but we're not supposed to pretend that we don't know who each other are.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like yeah, they have like the whole thing, and then that's yeah. I think it was it before he woke up, whatever. He's like talking to Scare or Mad Hatter. I fucking keep on wanting to call him Scarecrow, but like Mad Hatter. He's like, well, yeah, there's the dream. So he's like, okay, then I'll see you in your nightmares. So I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'd be
Yeah,
totally
which
be
is a
scared of.
badass line.
Yeah, I'd totally be scared of Batman with that if he was like yelling that at me.
I'm
And then
surprised he
yeah,
didn't take him with him, like say, like you're going
yeah,
down with me, man, if this is a
yeah,
dream or not.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so yeah, and the whole thing, like, and once, like, yeah, he woke up and said, and got everything, like, and he was like, "Hey, why'd you do this to me, Matt Hatter?" He's like, you ruined my life again." And like, I totally forgot like what happened in the last Mad Hatter episode, so I'd forgotten how that man ruined his life. Like, do you remember
He
what
tried
happened?
to brainwash a lady so that she would date him, and Batman
Oh,
said, "This is creepy," and
oh
Mad
yeah, oh
Hatter had
yeah,
a hissy
oh yeah,
fit.
that's the incel episode. Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was.
yeah.
Yeah. So then the cops show up and then he's talking to Commissioner Gordon. He's like, "Hey, yeah, this has like the I guess the circuitry to the mind control thing." He's like, "Yeah, this will be something for the boys to check out back." He's like, "Do you know what this was made of?" He's like, "Yeah, the stuff with the dreams are made of." As he's
Hmm.
walking away, which it just truly was, yeah, because obviously, yeah. And I like how the fact like the only thing about this whole thing where like he was seeing his parents more is like so far this is like what the 30th aired episode because they are the two-parters in two different episodes. Like they haven't really touched on like the Waynes being dead really. Like they've barely touched on it, so which was well, I'm kind of surprised they didn't have like an episode where they talked about it a bit more before this episode came in because I thought it was weird that as it was barely but I guess one thing I like about this series is like they're like, yes, we know that the Waynes are dead, what happened, how he became Batman, so that's not really what this is about. It's just him being
Yeah.
Batman instead of seeing it'd be like the Green Lantern movie where he saw his dad die like fucking like 5 times. So
But have you seen it from this angle? What about this angle? What about this angle?
or
It's an
or the
exploding
same angle.
plane.
But yeah, so what would you give this episode out of 5 best lives?
This is absolutely a 5 out of 5 for me, man. This is honestly one of my favorite Batman episodes. And I can certainly see why Kevin Conroy liked it as one of his favorites. The animation's great. It's got a lot of symbolic story writing to it. And yeah, it's a lot of food for thought as well as like, what would you do if you were kind of put in a situation where you had your like greatest wish like fulfilled? How about you?
I think I would agree with 4 out of 5. I think I really like I don't think I remember seeing this episode, but yeah, and that's when I was initially watching the show, so so it seems fairly new to me. But yeah, I think I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, just yeah, 4 out of 5. All right, so yeah, that is the episode for this week. Thanks everyone for joining us in the Batcave to talk about Batman the animated series. Next week's episode will be the Cape and Cowl conspiracy. I don't remember what episode that is, so this will be interesting to see what comes about with that one. I usually try not to look up episodes beforehand, so yeah, just so I can be fresh when I see it. So it'll be interesting to what comes up with that one. And you can follow us at Twitter/X at Twitter/X at Beyond Backcast, on Instagram at Beyond the Backcast, and we are on YouTube now. You can follow us at www.youtube.com/at Beyond the Backcast. You can check us out there or wherever you listen to your podcast and rate, review, and subscribe and help us out a little bit at Beyond the Backcast. And right, actually, and two, we do have a Discord now, the Batcave. So like the link for that will be in our Twitter and Instagram bio. So check that out. So if you can find it, join. Feel free to join us there. And Braydon, where can we find you on the internet?
You can find me on Instagram at Alfred is Zaddy, and
Oh,
I also
sorry.
am on the Facebook page, Beyond the Backcast.
All right. So yeah, then you can follow me on Instagram at Stump Chuckman. And as I said, thanks for joining us in the Batcave this week to talk about Batman the Animated Series. And goodbye, good chums. Kapow.